everyone, my name's Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami and Miami Beach, and today I'm going to talk to you about moving to Miami and 10 things you need to know. But first, before I get started with that, I just want to tell you thank you so much for tuning in every single week to our videos. If you don't want to miss another video, make sure that you subscribe. And also make sure that you leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions about our local real estate market. I'm always here to be a resource for you. In addition to that, if you would like to get on our weekly newsletter where I put in tons of tips and information about our local market and really great articles that we share every single week, make sure that you look in the information box below and subscribe now. Okay, so let's get started. Here are 10 things that you need to know about moving to Miami. Now, my husband and I moved to Miami in 2004. We had lived in North Carolina for about 10 years, and we wanted to move to a little bit busier city. And my husband is Croatian, and he grew up in Split, which, if you're familiar with Croatia, is a city on the Adriatic coast, and it's very hustling and bustling. Everyone's out, and he was just really missing sort of that lifestyle. And so we moved here in 2004, and we've really never looked back. There's a lot of misunderstandings about our city and our lifestyle here, so I just wanted to go over a few little tips that might make the process easier for you and help you make a better decision about moving to Miami. Miami is a huge melting pot with people from all over the world, and that brings so much culture to our city and so much uniqueness in so many different ways, and I just love that about living in Miami. Another great thing about living in Miami, and something that you need to know, is if you live here, you will be out all the time. We are always outside enjoying the parks and recreations. There's tons of things to do around the city, like shopping and dining. We meet friends outside. So a lot of our activities and meeting people and doing things like birthday parties or some other events, they always involve being outside. In addition to being outside, we have amazing park and recreation systems throughout the city with tons of activities that you are able to enjoy all year long. One thing that's very important to know when you're thinking about moving to Miami is our neighborhoods can be a little bit complex and difficult to understand and difficult to navigate if you are not familiar with our city. For instance, a lot of times people will come here and they'll say to me, "Where's South Beach?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're in South Beach right now," because South Beach is a neighborhood of Miami Beach. And we have a lot of little neighborhoods like that throughout the city. It's very important that you're working with someone who really understands all the neighborhoods throughout the city, because there are a lot of different opportunities based on your budget and the lifestyle that you want to lead. The different types of properties here usually involve townhomes, condominiums, and single-family homes. I would say we do have a lot of condominium living just because we are a city, and that type of living tends to be very popular with people. Another thing that you need to know is if you are moving to Miami and you're interested in purchasing in a condominium building, all the buildings are managed differently, and they all have different types of management styles. So it's very important that you make sure you're working with someone who understands the buildings and can best guide you through the process of purchasing a condominium. Buildings, the way they're managed, the way their budgets run, the facilities that are offered, the amenities that are offered, they all have different types in each building, and you have to think of a building like a little city. And the way it's being managed is ultimately determined by the people who live there and the way they vote for the management style that they want. And this is something very important to understand, especially if you're buying in a condominium building in Miami. In addition to that, if you are buying in a condominium building here, you should also know that if you need parking, you really need to make that a big priority. I realize that most people who move here with more than one car, and most units here are only sold with one parking space. So if an additional parking space is very important to you, we need to make sure to address that at the very beginning. Financing here can be very different than in other parts of the United States. And I think one big reason is because we do have so many condominiums here, and that is a way of living in a city. So it's very important to know that condominium financing is a different level of financing, because as much as the lender will qualify you, the borrower, they also want to understand how the building is being managed. And if you remember what I just said about there's all different types of management styles, some buildings here are not eligible for traditional financing because of some things that are going on internally inside of the building. But we can talk about that. That's a very detailed conversation. But just know that if you are getting financing and you're planning on purchasing a condominium, we need to dive a little bit deeper into that topic. So I think that's it. If you have more questions, always feel free to reach out to me. Miami is an amazing city to live in. If you're thinking about moving to Miami and you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at 305-793-8965. In the meantime, don't forget, subscribe to our weekly newsletter so we can keep you up with everything that's happening in Miami. Have a great day.